It certainly won't be the send-off the Windsors had planned, the smallest royal funeral in modern times, to bid farewell to Philip, the royal patriarch and prince.
Prince Philip would have been entitled to whatever he wanted, and what originally was going to happen was that he was going to start at St James's Palace, and there was going to be a pretty tight ceremonial procession, and it would have been quite a big funeral. There would have been a lot of people there.
Despite its low-key nature, there will be no shortage of personal touches today. Philip's coffin will be draped in his personal standard, the blue and white of the Greek national flag, along with the 3 lions of the Danish coat of arms, references to the Duke's family heritage, the black and white stripes of his mother's Mountbatten family, plus the castle to represent his Duke of Edinburgh title. His naval cap and sword will be placed on the coffin, which will travel on the back of a custom Land Rover designed by the Duke himself.
It's been looked after all these years by Jaguar. You can be certain it will be in absolutely splendid working order, and it's just so like him to do that. He was always designing things. He had his own Land Rover in Scotland, which had a kind of barbecue unit, everything slotted in, that he could take out.
Philip's coffin will leave Windsor Castle at 2:40 local time, 11:40 p.m. on the Australian East Coast. Shortly after, the slow procession will leave the castle quadrangle, an 8-minute route lined by armed forces personnel. The procession will arrive at the west steps of St George's Chapel before a minute's silence is held across the nation. The stunning chapel was the venue for Princess Eugenie's marriage, and for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's wedding. The Duchess won't be among the mourners today, choosing to stay in California. The 30-person guest list is made up of the Queen, who will sit by herself in line with COVID rules. Her 4 children and their spouses will also attend. So too all 8 grandchildren, their husbands and wives, the Queen's cousins, and Prince Philip's German relatives, descendants of his sisters. His sisters were kept away from the royal wedding back in 1947. Married to Germans, their attendance deemed insensitive in post-war Britain. At his wedding, the Duke had little sway over ceremonial proceedings, but he has painstakingly planned his own farewell, from the hymns the choir will sing to the Bible readings and even the medals on display. Philip has chosen a ceremonial royal funeral instead of a state funeral.
Goodbye, England's rose.
It's the same sort of service held for both the Queen Mother and Princess Diana in 1997. On that day, a young William and Harry walked side by side behind their mother's coffin.
Prince Philip said to them the night before, "I think when you're older that you'd very much regret it if you don't walk behind your mother's coffin, and I will walk with you."
Today, the brothers will reunite, carefully choreographed to walk separately in the procession for their grandfather. It is an ancient tradition in the royal household, here at Queen Victoria's funeral in Windsor in 1901, and for King George VI, Elizabeth's father. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson bowed out today to allow an extra family member to attend, a far cry from the Queen Mother's funeral, attended by a host of foreign dignitaries.
The Prime Minister of Australia, John Howard.
Back in 1953, Prince Philip pioneered the concept of broadcasting his wife's coronation around the world, and today that legacy remains. Millions of viewers will watch the Duke's funeral service, a private farewell, on a very public stage.